Hello everyone and welcome to your West Ham Transfer Rumour Show, your first one of the January transfer window. We have a look at social media, see what's happening, see what the rumours are, and we bring them to your screen or your devices, whatever it is. We're here in your ear, myself and Gonzo, and we'll be here for the next month or something. There's no doubt going to be plenty of rumours. I've missed these, Gonzo. Do you like these transfer rumours? No.
I do, and I've just received a notification on my phone to let me know I'm doing a video for Ham Utd.
That's handy.
And we're live apparently.
You should tune in. There's a Scottish guy and there's an idiot.
Yeah, I like the sound of the idiot. It sounds good.
Any rumour you want to start with, or?
You kick off, mate. You'll know ones that I don't know. So,
well, let's go for the big one.
Lead the dance.
Let's go for the big one because we haven't discussed him. Well, you done your video earlier. You mentioned him there. You put the name in the title for the clickbait, and I've done the same here. Gedson Fernandes on Benfica, and that's the latest rumour. Now, the latest rumour, to be fair on this, is that we have submitted something. Some may call it a bid. Some may call it an inquiry. Some may call it something in the middle. I would call it something in the middle. Do you know much about him? You excited by this link?
I know a little bit about him because I've done a little bit of research since it was mentioned. I'm sure that you're probably right. It's somewhere in the middle. So David Sullivan's got the old Crayolas out and he's scribbled something and attached it to a pigeon and sent it off to Portugal. So whether we sign him or not, who knows? Who knows? Hopefully he won't get insulted by the president of Benfica in response to his cheeky bid. I do believe it's a loan deal of some description, but the player's a very, very good player. Not somebody I would have imagined that we'd have a realistic chance of getting. He ticks an awful lot of boxes. He's dribbles. He runs through the midfield. He's high energy. He's a good size. He's 6 foot. He's fast. In many respects, he ticks a lot of the boxes. He's not a defensive midfielder, but he very much is. Will be somebody that will play central. In many respects, he sort of would find himself in a number 10 role, but he starts from much deeper than that. I've read a lot about people saying what he's missing and what he doesn't give, but when a player's that good, I think it's probably important to concentrate on what he does do. And of course, the reason he may well be available on the loan deal is because he's fallen out with either the coach or the president of Benfica, and as such hasn't featured for the past 7 games, I believe. But prior to that, he was being linked with Borussia Dortmund, Manchester United, and Manchester City. Pretty much everybody who's a big club in Europe. So will he come to almost bottom of the league West Ham? I'm not so sure.
I think it's achievable. I do think it's more achievable than some later on. I think there's a reason those clubs have looked at him and they've not moved for him yet. Because you said he's a good player. I think he could be. I think he could be a good player. I think he's got something about him. I think for his age is really good. But I think the potential is more than what his ability is, if that makes sense. And that's the risk people want to take. Man City don't need to take that risk. Man City can let West Ham take the risk. And then they can come and buy him when he's 22, 23 and he's a finished product. We can't afford to do that. You only get one opportunity to sign a player like this. And that is taking advantage of him falling out with his coach. He's not in the team at the minute. The loan deal, it's an 18-month loan. The rumour is an 18-month loan with an option to buy at the end of it. And it's perfectly doable. Benfica do deals like this. They miss out usually. All you have to do is look in the summer with Luka Jovic. They loaned him out to Frankfurt, and then Frankfurt signed him for about £12 million or something, then sold him for £16 million a week later. So Benfica have had their fingers burnt. So I wouldn't be surprised if the buy part is quite high because, like you said, he does have big potential there. He's good at dribbling mainly. He's dribbling, he's big and he's strong. He's more of an attacking midfielder than a defensive one. But that's what you need alongside Declan. You don't need someone that can sit in front of the defence and do the tackling. Now we've got that guy. We just need someone that can play alongside and complement him. I think he's worth the punt for someone that's 20 years old. He comes in. He doesn't. I think he turns 21 next week though. But because of his age at the start of the season, we don't need to register him. So he doesn't take up a squad place because we don't have any at the minute for non-homegrown players. So we don't have to worry about that with him. He comes in, he fits in the squad, and we worry about it in the summer when we can offload 1 or 2 players and create room for him. I really hope this happens, and I think it's got legs, this one. I don't think this is just a rumour. I think there is something in this. I think we are moving for him. Perhaps not slightly.
Why do you think we are?
Because I've been told.
Oh, sneaky.
but
Very sneaky.
But also David Moyes, earlier in the press conference, David Moyes got asked about him, and he says, "Yeah, there's someone there." Like David Moyes has been very open about it. His wording was a bit strange because he says something like, "I think we're looking at that area of the pitch" or something, as if to say like, Moyes is very much hinting that he's not really buying the players in this window, and he also said that we're going to get a director of football in the summer, which again very much says, Dave, this is David Sullivan's window here.
Probably not Tony Henry though.
Definitely not Tony Henry for this one, I'm afraid. But he's got his links there. I think the people are clutching at straws on some things. He's friends with Cardoso, Deju, and Exonde Silva, who we've got over here. He's friends with those three players. His mum lives in London. I think that's even more of a bit of a stretch. I mean, not many players move because of where their mum lives, do they? I'd be very concerned if someone's like, "Can I leave?" Why? Well, my mum's moved to Manchester, so I need to go to Manchester. That's a bit of a strange one. And then he put up a post on Instagram that had the crossed hammers emoji, and then he removed it. But that's like quite not a common thing, but it means something else to a lot of other people. It's a sign of, is it, I should really word this correctly, is it anti-slavery in African countries or something? Do you know when they do that for the celebration or whatever it is? I wouldn't even. Players like Czech.
I wouldn't even begin to know. But if it is that, it's probably I don't know. Is it? They are the chains, being bound by the chains of slavery. What he put up with was two hammers. It may well just be that his shelf had fallen down at home, and he went to Screwfix and bought a couple of hammers or something, and then he was letting everybody know.
He also did put the Joker card next to it as well, which maybe says more. Yeah. Like, West Ham, someone's having a laugh.
Wind that a lot up. There's loads of them on Twitter.
Well,
wind them up.
He's edited it. He's edited the post since and took the crossed hammers part out. But I don't know. I think it's just people clutching at straws. But I do think there is something in this bit. So more to come on this one. This is not the last we've heard of Gedson Fernandes. Could he be our first signing of the January transfer window? Perhaps. However, I don't think we'll be signing both of them. The other one being Sander Berge of Genk. We're still in for him though. Interesting though. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. Today, Gonzo, literally today. Now this is why you need to tune in for this show, because you won't have seen this on social media much. Genk signed a midfielder today. So that makes people think, oh, does this mean they're ready? Are they getting ready for Sander Berge to leave and go Oski? Because there is interest on him as well. Who would you prefer?
Oh, I think that's tough to say. I think they're very much two different players. As I mentioned to you before, Berge is someone that if you got stuck and wanted to play free at the back could play up there. He is definitely more defensive. He's bigger. I know it's. Well, I mean, he's Fernandes is big, but Berge is like a giant. Pellegrini sent a scout, not all five of them. Pellegrini sent half a scout out to have a look at him, came back and decided he wasn't good enough, by the way, which is what I heard. Very secret squirrel. So maybe they decided that they want to push forwards with that. Who would I prefer? I'm sorry, dodging the question. I wouldn't mind, in all honesty. I don't
know Berge. I don't know.
Sorry?
Berge. I don't know Berge. I've only seen him once. I didn't even know I'd seen him.
Yeah. They just offer different things. I mean, there's no point in. I think Berge is more like Declan Rice than Fernandes is, put it that way. And if that's going to be what you decide, I think you'd probably have Fernandes in the midfield if you plump for one. But either one would not be a bad signing. At all. Berge would probably, you'd think, might acclimatise a little quicker, just because it's Belgium's closer to Portugal, isn't it? But I don't know.
That's a very strange claim to make, because your country's closer. You might. I suppose there is something in it.
I didn't mean geographically. Sorry, I meant the league is closer than a sort of Portuguese, a Spanish, and an Iberian type league where the football is vastly different. There are, you look at players like Vincent Kompany and players like that. There are, Axel, what's his name, Witsel? Is that him, Witsel? Yeah. What I'm saying is the Belgian league can produce some quite attritional players, and Berge is that type of player. Iberian leagues and stuff like that are more known for producing more technical players and stuff like that. So if I had to put my hat on one of them, settling first, it would be Berge because of the league and because of where he's from.
Interesting. Also, incoming rumours. The keeper thing's not going away, and Darren Moyes has said he thinks we're after a goalkeeper as well, which puts a bit of air of mystery over what's happened to David Martin all of a sudden. But Randolph, we've had a bid rejected for Darren Randolph, but supposedly we're going back in for him. Begovic is also sort of on the wish list, but another goalkeeper that we were interested in the summer, I think, but I think he was injured, is Cardiff Etheridge. Either of those tickle your fancy, or you're not too fussed for a keeper?
Average is all right. I don't understand the Randolph one. I feel sorry for Martin. He probably feels like he's fallen into a bucket of tits and come out sucking his thumb. Do you know what I mean? He the whole world was going right for him, and now it's... I just don't understand. I don't get the whole Randolph thing. I don't get what is wrong with David Martin. We're also linked with another... a young goalkeeper. I don't know if he was on your list, but apparently David Moyes liked him because of his cat-like reflexes. Apparently, well, we've got lots of young.
Oh my God! Don't tell me! Oh Jesus!
If you say the name, I might know.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. It's Luca Magnotta.
Do you know what? I think. Hold on. No, Luca Magnotta's that geezer. You've
been mugged right off here.
It's the Netflix one, the one that killed the kittens and the snake and
the one with the cat-like reflexes.
Oh right, it's not April, is it?
No, but you just fell hook, line and sinker for it. You absolute idiot. I would have recognised
the name though, wouldn't I? Because Luca Magnotta's the whatever. That's not the serial killer, but the murderer from the Netflix.
Yes, and someone Fate Carlton Cole when he's the source of the transfer. That's a bit of a clue.
He's trouble. That geezer is trouble. Honestly, he's had me so many times.
He's got you again.
Oh crikey.
But no Luca Magnotta, I'm afraid. That is
I'll tell you what, I'm not feline too good now after that.
Oh Jesus, it's a very good series though. I know you're not tuning in for Netflix series, but Don't F with the Cats on Netflix is really good. You'll learn about Luca Magnotta, and he's not a goalkeeper for God's sake. But anyway, back to
that link was far from perfect.
Right, stop it now. Right. These goalkeepers, I don't get it. I don't get why we're going after one, especially when our kitty, which I'll mention at the end, what our kitty supposedly is quite slim, and we're looking. I didn't mean that. It was a mistake. I'll take it. When it's far, but you've thrown me here.
I knew you didn't mean it because you paused.
Right, stop. No more cat jokes. All right, stop it. I just don't know why we'd spend some of the budget. I don't know why.
This is going to be a long tale.
I don't know why we spend some of the budget on a goalkeeper when we've got David Martin. So it makes me think that David Martin's croaked or something. But he's been in the training video, so I don't think he is. I don't know. Etheridge. The difference with the two things that's interesting here, I think we're trying to get rid of Roberto here because Begovic and Etheridge, while they are not necessarily English or that, they did come through Chelsea and Portsmouth academy, so the kind of homegrown. So it makes me think we're trying to get Roberto out this squad, get a homegrown one in, and it frees up that non-homegrown player squad space for someone else, who Giroud perhaps, which we'll come on to in a second. That's the only way I can think of it, but I don't know if I'd want to see us spend money in order to do that, if that makes sense. I don't want us to spend, I don't know, 5 million or something. And what's Roberto going to do? He's going to have to play under 23 football. He's not even going to do that. We're just going to be paying him for you and have to literally not be in the squad. Very strange thing, this one. Do you want a really unrealistic rumour that's gone about a little bit?
I think we just had one, didn't we? But go on, give us another one, as long as it's not made up by fake Carlton Cole.
No, but this one was made up by the Mirror, I think. Max Aarons for 30 million. I mean, that's just not going to happen, is it?
Oh, I'll do it. I'd put a tenner towards it myself, mate. I'd love to get the fella over, but no, it won't. It's not. We are West Ham. That's what the big clubs pay for young up-and-coming players. West Ham just can't afford that sort of money. We pay that for what we consider to be a finished player.
This is a summer move, I think. If this was the summer, I'd say, do you know what? I hope we'd go for it. I'm not quite sure we'd spend that much on a right back, but I hope we do. But in this window, I can't see, especially when centre midfield is clearly being made the priority at long last. I just can't see the Max Allen things being being true. He's also linked to a load of other Premier League clubs in this window: Spurs, Everton. There's a couple more. Norwich apparently are prepared to sell, which I can understand. They must be looking at him thinking, he's a Premier League player today. We get relegated, they're buying a Championship player, and while he's still good enough for Premier League, Norwich are struggling. They've got to sell him in the summer. They don't have to sell him this window, so his price is probably as high as it's ever going to be unless Norwich stay up. And that's a risk. Norwich can do a lot of money, a lot of things with 30 million in this transfer window. They can go get 3 players for that. They've got Sam Byram, who is doing all right at Norwich, staying fit. He can step into right back now. Giroud, Olivier Giroud. This is like the 5th window we've been linked with him. The problem is, 5 windows ago he was good, but every window has gone on. He's got a little bit older, a little bit more injury prone, and scoring a little less goals. But he still starts for France. So, what's your thinking on this one?
He's a very good player, but I don't. It's not what I want to see. I don't want to see any journeyman coming in, and maybe journeyman's a bit harsh because he's played at the top level, and as you said, he's still playing for France. That's not what I want. I want Sebastian Haller to come through and him to take his place in the France squad. He's too much like Haller in that respect. If I were being a striker, I want us to bring in someone totally different who can offer us something else. Because there's no point in buying a striker for 45 million, then getting in, not journeyman, but do you know what I mean? An older senior pro on loan or something, and then putting him ahead of the 45 million. You just wouldn't do it. So what's Giroud going to do? He's going to sit on the bench for us.
But I think that's what we're trying to do, though. I think we're trying to find a striker that can play. If we're going to get someone to boot Haller out the team, we're going to have to spend about 50 million. So we are trying to find, I think, someone that is able to play second fiddle, essentially.
But I think what actually is far more foresight to bring in somebody that might sit on the bench, could replace her if necessary, but actually if we want to switch it up, can also complement him and make a partnership. Haller and Giroud never make a partnership because they're too similar. This has got the whiff of Patrice Evra about it. This one actually, I don't like this one.
I don't know if it's that bad. I don't think it's as bad as Patrice Evra, but it's very much take what you can get kind of thing. There's not much creativity involved with this transfer if we were to go with it. He's on big wages as well. I don't want to say he's finished, but he's very much past his sell-by date now. Injuries have just caught up with him. He's had a brilliant career. He used to be a top striker in the Premier League, but it's just he's too old. He's too injury prone now. He's very injury prone at the minute. I think he's only scored 2 goals or something for Chelsea in the last 20 starts or something. It's just not something that I want to see. I'd much rather us spend money and take a punt from the Championship on someone that might step up, someone that is hungry. What's Giroud's ambition? What's his desire to come to West Ham? What's he coming here for?
I think his mum lives in London.
Possibly, but something you could make a case for him trying to get into the Euro squad. He might want to keep his place for the Euros, but he's not going to do that on the bench at West Ham, is he? He needs to go to someone like Crystal Palace and try and start every week. That's the move he needs. He doesn't need West Ham.
Aston Villa, mate. Aston Villa could do with him now.
He does not need West Ham, and West Ham do not need Giroud. I don't think this is something I don't really want to see happen. Barbosa, though, he is not going away. Gabigol, as they call him. Season's finished with Flamengo. We discussed him prior. You weren't too keen on him. Now that the rumours come on, you've seen a bit more of him. Have you warmed to him at all?
Not really. I don't actually like the whole concept of having a new manager in and us getting the old manager's targets.
Well, that's what's happening with Fernandes, because...
Yeah, I'm not thrilled with it, to be honest with you. What if Moyes doesn't like him? What if Moyes doesn't rate him? And then we're stuck with a player on an 18-month loan who maybe won't feature. I mean, all I would say about Moyes is maybe Moyes is showing himself to be far more open-minded than we might have considered. I always looked at Moyes from afar and thought of him as a very rigid man, Maybe it's the Scotsman in him, Geo. He's not for shifting, and he knows his own mind, and he's. But actually, you look at him now, and you think, well, I don't know, maybe there is some flexibility in him in terms of players, because I think also because he ran he almost ran Everton like Ferguson ran Man U, if you know what I mean. It was almost like a dictatorship. When you wield that kind of power at a club, and very much nobody would have come into that Everton club without Moyes saying so. To shift from that to somebody who's happy to take the recommendation of the previous manager, even though I find that quite hard to believe. And do you know what? If he is, then as I say, he's a less stubborn man than I am. Certainly, I don't know.
But it's the Hugo transfers coming back to haunt him a little bit, because if I was Sullivan, I'd be looking at him saying, there's no way I'm giving you money to spend. Look what you did last time. Look what you've done. The guy's at QPR. 9 million I spent on that guy. I'm not giving you 9 million in this window. Who are you going to go get? So I think Moyes has almost made a rod for his own back here, and he's just going to have to sit back and let Sullivan. But also at the same time, Usalos and the scouting network and that, the scouts are still there, as we believe. I mean, a couple of them have left because they were the sons of the people that got sacked. But all the reports and that, you can't do 5 months plus of scouting players and then just bin it off because the people that have done the scouting's left. A good player is still a good player, regardless of if the guy that scouted it's gone or not. So I think we'll be cutting our nose off to spite our face a little bit to sort of just ignore all the work we've been doing since the summer.
Yeah.
And while Sullivan's blamed Usalos at the start of December, he might very well be sitting there thinking, well, Fernandes has turned out to be pretty good actually, so maybe he was correct with that transfer despite me blaming him a month ago. So maybe he's thinking, well, if they were insisting on Fernandes as a midfielder and he's on loan, maybe we should just go and trust Usalos despite the fact he's gone and get him in and see what he's done. I mean, this is perfect for Sullivan. He's almost let a proper director of football go and do the hard work, and now Sullivan's going to get the credit if it comes off. This comes off, you can guarantee you Sullivan will be sitting there going, told you I'm good at director of football this, but the hard work was done. It wasn't him that's done it, it's been done. He's got it's still hard to do the negotiating, but that's the only bit that's left.
I think I'll give Jack the credit for these ones. I think probably. I think the difference between Fernandes and the other geezer is I've heard of Fernandes. Yeah. Fernandes has sort of been on the radar as an up-and-coming promising player. He's one of the 4-4-2 players, if you like. Yeah. He's propped up in a magazine. The other fella, honestly, I wouldn't know him. I thought past him in the street. So maybe that's got something to do with it. I think there's always something. I know he's been in Italy and then he's gone back to Brazil, but again, for the reasons that I said about Belgium and Portugal and stuff like that, I think there's almost a bigger leap. I would trust a player that's already settled in Europe rather than one that's come straight over from South America. So I'm look. I mean, it's an interesting thing to talk about, but it's hard to get excited about that. Let's say, put it that way.
We'll discuss the budget in a second, but we've got two players two out players now. First one, Nathan Holland joining Oxford United on loan after the Sunday game against Gillingham, which insinuates he's in the squad, but he's heading there on loan for the remainder of the season. You happy with that?
Very much so. Is it Carl Robinson, manager at Oxford?
I don't know.
Even if it's not, I know they've got a good manager at Oxford.
It rings a bell, but they're definitely playing attacking football and scoring lots of goals.
Yeah, I think it might be the ex-MK Dons manager. I think his name's Robinson, a Scouse geezer. He says, anyway, good manager. Excuse me, Geo. I'm really pleased for Nathan. I think he needs a loan. I think he's ready. I think he's too good for under-23 football. He's too good. He's the best player at that level. He really is. Let's get him out. He's not. It's always difficult, I think, if you are a centre half, for instance. You've got to make sure your body is fully developed and stuff like that. Nathan Holland's ready to go as a winger. He really is. He's very, very fast. He's already got the technique. He's exactly where you want to be. So he's got to develop. I think he'll go and start getting goals and assists at that level immediately. I'm pleased for him.
He's heading there confident as well, which is the main thing. He's halfway through a season where he's been taking the piss out of the league, and like you said, it's not even. It can't be fun for Holland much anymore, scoring every week. It is for a while, but eventually you must think, well, what's the point in this? So he's going there confident. He's going into an Oxford United team that scores lots of goals. They do score plenty of goals and stuff. So hopefully he gets his opportunities and he takes them, and we get an even more Nathan Holland coming back. Hopefully his contract gets sorted out before he goes, because last I heard his contract was up in the summer, so I'm hoping...
No, we got that wrong. He signed one until 2022. I was banging the drum about it as much as anyone, and then somebody sent me, apologies for not remembering who, somebody sent me the link to the thing of him sat down with the 2022 and signing the contract.
Oh, well,
at that point, I remembered he had actually. I think they wheeled him out onto the pitch before a game. So yeah, that's not a worry.
Happy days. The other player, it was already out, was Alisi. He was at Accrington Stanley until January. He signed a new loan deal at Accrington Stanley, which takes him through to the end of the season. So the young centre back, as Gonzo was talking about, centre back need to be big. He's doing all right at Accrington, so he's extended his loan there. Transfer budget time. The rumours are it's £25 million. £25 million is what we're going to be spending in January. We can forget about where that money is coming from now. We're just going to discuss the budget itself. Fernandes comes in on loan. That leaves all 25 million left. But if Sander Berge comes in, that's pretty much all the money gone. Are you wanting to see it all pretty much spent in centre midfield in this window, and then trying to get a striker in on loan or whatever to patch it up?
I wouldn't care, to be honest with you, Gio. I wouldn't honestly care. As long as we get that central midfielder in. If they do it and someone like Fernandes came in and it freed up the money and the money was spent elsewhere, I wouldn't mind, because we've got a quality player coming in there. Not a problem. I don't care which way round they do it. We just need somebody in there right now. It'd be nice to think there's a permanent signing, but you know what? 18 months is a fair old whack for a player. There's no guarantee when you sign a player that they'll be here for more than 18 months anyway. Let's be perfectly honest with you. So I wouldn't be. You've almost got more security of an 18-month loan than you have a permanent transfer in many respects. So I don't mind how they want to cut and slice it. I really don't mind. I think it'd be interesting to see what he does. Central midfield, we all know that. That's the key thing. Another striker, yes. The domestic homegrown rule is going to be interesting, because obviously we're right at a limit in terms of squad places and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised.
We've got room for 2 homegrown players.
How many foreign?
None. Over the age of 21. But this is what I'm saying. Fernandes, you don't have to register Fernandes because of his age. So if he comes in, you'd have to register him.
Well, that's interesting. Because that... Okay, maybe we want to be focusing on who's going out then as well, because somebody...
This is why I think we want a keeper like Etheridge, so we can just deregister Roberto. We just don't register him. Then Etheridge is homegrown, takes one of the homegrown places, frees up the non-homegrown place, sorted. I think this is why we're after a keeper.
Okay, well that's interesting. Yeah. I wouldn't rule out them. I'm trying to sign a wide player. I really wouldn't. I can see that. I don't know where. We don't know what formation Moyes is going to settle on yet. Thought it was going to be 3 at the back before that. Now it looks like it might be 4 at the back. It might all be very different, come Sheffield United game. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a wide player come in. But certainly central midfield is the priority, striker. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see 3 come in.
I just don't want to see a botched job in the centre of the park, especially if these 2 centre midfielders are available, and Labocta's just leaving Celta Vigo for around about the 20 million. He's heading to Italy for around about the 20 million as well. So that's sort of 3 decent centre midfielders around about the same price mark available. I don't want to see us do a Joe Allen for 10 million and spend 6 million on Giroud or something. I don't want botched jobs. Let's get one job absolutely nailed down.
Yep.
And patch up the other one, because I think all we need is a centre midfielder or a striker. I don't think we need anything else. I think the right backs will do until the summer. Fredericks with Zabaleta and Johnson when he's fit, it will do. The defence is fine. I think we need a centre mid and a striker, and rather than do half and half, we can get an okay and an okay. I just want to get a proper centre midfielder in there that just fixes it. So come the summer, we can look at the right back situation and anything else that needs reassessed, and then go with it. Diafra though, just to end the show, has just been released by Rennes. He's free. Do you want to turn him back? He's only 30. I thought he was older than that. I seen earlier he's 30 years old.
What a waste. real ability. In many respects, Diafra with his head salted would thrive under many of the managers we've had recently, would thrive under many of the systems actually. There is someone who can play up on their own. Oh, what a shame! What an absolute shame! Because he should have done so much more with the gifts he had. He had a real eye for goal. He had a poacher's knack. He was athletic enough. He wasn't bad in the air. He had a lot going for him. A lot going for him. That player. It's just not right up. He's not got it right in the head. He's not been the first. He won't be the last. That's got all the physical attributes, but can't quite apply himself.
Used up all 9 lives, didn't he? Anyway, we will leave it there. If you enjoyed this transfer roundup, drop a like on the video. We enjoy your support as always. Subscribe if you're around here. We're back tomorrow morning with our preview of the Gillingham fixture, which is on Sunday night. Then obviously on Sunday we'll have our build-up show and then the review straight after it. Lots of content coming for you on Hammers Chats. Keep your eyes out. Join us again. Enjoy your weekend, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and we'll see you soon.